There are stories buried in wartime supply records that read more like science fiction than logistics, forgotten inventions that worked so well, they quietly vanished when peace returned. One such mystery was a nutrient additive nicknamed Recovery Compound R. A ration supplement credited by medics for helping wounded soldiers recover in half the usual time. It wasn't a miracle drug or a stimulant. It was a simple, field-stable nutrient mix that boosted tissue repair and immunity when real medicine was scarce. By the war's end, it was tested, proven, and praised, then quietly removed from post-war rations and medical manuals. Why? Because what started as a life-saving innovation didn't fit into the new world of commercial medicine and pharmaceutical control. Today, its core formula still stands as one of the most practical and overlooked nutritional breakthroughs of World War II, a compound that could still make a difference in how we recover from injury or exhaustion today. The battlefield problem: wounds that refuse to heal. During World War II, one of the deadliest enemies soldiers faced wasn't just bullets or shrapnel, it was infection and slow healing. Constant exhaustion, poor diet, and extreme weather meant even minor cuts could turn deadly. Rations were calorie-heavy but nutritionally limited. Canned meats, biscuits, and instant coffee kept troops alive but lacked the vitamins and minerals that fuel the body's natural repair systems. Medics in both Allied and Axis forces began noticing a pattern. Men with access to certain supplements or local foods recovered faster, suffered fewer infections, and stayed more alert under stress. In 1943, a joint Allied medical team began testing a concentrated additive to restore those missing nutrients. They called it Compound R, short for Recovery Compound. So, what exactly was Compound R made of? Unlike a lot of wartime innovations, this one didn't rely on secret chemicals or synthetic drugs. Compound R was actually a blend of stabilized natural extracts, and it focused on three core areas. First, there was a high concentration of B vitamins, especially B6 and B12, which helped restore red blood cell formation and sped up tissue repair. Second, it included liver and yeast hydrolysates, which are super dense in amino acids, iron, and natural enzymes that promoted rapid healing. And finally, trace elements like zinc and copper were added. These are absolutely key for wound closure and boosting the immune response. Mixed together, these ingredients created a dense, slightly bitter powder that could be added to soups, coffee, or even chewed dry if you had to. Soldiers described the taste as metallic and earthy, but medics actually noticed results within just a few days. Reports from North Africa and the Italian front documented cases where troops on daily Compound R recovered from burns and lacerations about twice as fast as those who didn't have it. Fatigue was reduced, infections dropped, and morale improved, which is pretty remarkable. In some units, commanders even began rationing it as strictly as morphine. So, why did it work, and why did it disappear? The real brilliance of Compound R was in its simplicity. It was basically whole nutrition in a stable, field-ready form, created before vitamins were mass-marketed as pills. It gave soldiers the biological tools their bodies needed to actually heal, instead of just masking symptoms. But after the war, the formula just vanished. By 1947, major pharmaceutical companies were already pushing new antibiotic and vitamin products. Natural compounds like liver hydrolysate, which were once a medical staple, were phased out in favor of synthetic versions that could be patented. Compound R had no commercial owner, no patent, and honestly, no market profit. It worked too well, and it was just too cheap. When the first post-war ration redesigns were approved in 1948, Recovery Compound R didn't make the cut. Its ingredients were replaced by small amounts of synthetic vitamin powders, which were easier to standardize but, honestly, less biologically complete. The old formula was quietly shelved, its documentation buried in quartermaster archives. In the 1990s, a handful of military historians and nutrition scientists revisited wartime medical trials. They found several references to R compound, R ration additive, and liver enzyme supplement number 12. Analysis of surviving samples revealed the mix's nutrient density actually rivaled modern recovery drinks and medical supplements. What really stood out was bioavailability, the body's ability to absorb nutrients efficiently. The blend of natural enzymes and amino acids in compound R allowed rapid absorption, even in starved, dehydrated, or injured soldiers. Unlike synthetic pills, which the body must break down chemically, this compound acted more like a pre-digested food. That explains why recovery rates were so dramatic. Compound R didn't just deliver nutrients, it delivered them in the exact form a damaged body could use instantly. Field applications that still matter today, honestly, might surprise you. The wartime formula has surprising relevance for modern survivalists, medics, and really anyone interested in natural recovery. While the exact ratios are still classified or maybe just lost to time, the principle can definitely be recreated using ingredients that are pretty easy to find and have the same biological properties. Here's a simplified version, based on wartime notes and what we know now: nutritional yeast, or brewer's yeast, which replaces the B vitamin and enzyme base. Desiccated liver powder, available in most supplement stores, mimics the protein and iron profile. Zinc and copper trace minerals to support immune function and tissue repair. And finally, a small amount of unrefined sea salt, which provides electrolytes and helps with absorption. Combined, these form a modern, accessible compound R. Mixed into broth or oatmeal, it delivers a nutritional punch that restores energy and supports recovery far beyond standard processed foods. The story of compound R isn't just about a lost formula. It's a lesson in how wartime necessity drives innovation, and how peace often buries it. The post-war pharmaceutical boom prioritized patentable drugs over natural compounds. In doing so, an entire generation's worth of practical biochemistry was sidelined. For soldiers who swore by it, compound R was proof that simple nutrition could rival medicine when conditions were at their worst. It turned food into healing. And that idea, for all our modern science, still holds incredible power. You can replicate the philosophy behind compound R today. Feed your body what it actually uses to rebuild itself. In survival training, recovery, or even daily nutrition, nutrient-dense natural compounds outperform isolated synthetics every time. In a way, recovery compound R represents the core of World War II ingenuity, solving massive problems with minimal resources and deep understanding of human limits. As one wartime medic wrote in 1944, "We had no laboratory, no factory, but we could still make men heal." That's the kind of knowledge worth keeping alive. If you value forgotten wartime innovations and the science behind real survival, subscribe to Strange History, where every episode uncovers another piece of practical genius lost to time, and sometimes, to profit.